few months ago, my neighbor Margaret invited me over for coffee. As we sat in her kitchen, she gestured to a shiny, high-tech blender gathering dust on the counter. "I bought that last year during a midnight infomercial," she laughed. "Used it twice. Now it's just a $300 paperweight. Sound familiar? If you've ever bought something on impulse, only to realize later it adds no real value to your life, you're not alone. Many of us, especially in retirement, fall into the trap of spending on things that clutter our homes and drain our savings. But here's the good news. The ancient Stoics, thinkers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, had wisdom that's surprisingly relevant today. They taught the value of focusing on what truly matters and letting go of excess. As Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Today, we'll explore 6 items seniors often waste money on, and how Stoic principles can help us spend smarter, live lighter, and find deeper contentment. Let's start with the first 2. Item 1. Expensive kitchen gadgets you rarely use. My friend Jim, a retired teacher, once bought a deluxe bread maker after watching a cooking show. "I imagined fresh loaves every morning," he said. But after 3 attempts and 1 hockey puck-shaped disaster, it became a cupboard fossil. Jim's story isn't unusual. We're bombarded with ads for air fryers, espresso machines, and gadgets promising to revolutionize our kitchens. But the Stoics remind us, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Ask yourself, do I already own something that does this job? A simple skillet can roast veggies. A basic blender can make smoothies. Before buying new, rediscover what you have. Margaret repurposed her paperweight blender for soups. "Turns out," she said, "it's great for butternut squash." Item 2. Redundant insurance policies. My cousin Linda, 68, panicked after reading an article about senior scams and bought identity theft insurance, travel insurance, and a supplemental health plan, all overlapping with her existing coverage. "I was paying $200 a month to feel safe," she admitted, "but I was just anxious and broke." The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, "Some things are within our control and some are not. Focus on what you can control. Review policies annually. Ask, do I really need this, or am I paying for fear?" Linda consolidated her plans, saved $1,500 a year, and donated part of the savings to a local food bank. "Now I feel secure and generous," she said. Now, you might be thinking, but what about gifts for family? Or the latest must-have health product? Don't worry, we'll tackle those next. Let's just say, not all generosity or gadgets are created equal. Let me tell you about my friend George. At 72, George was convinced he needed the latest anti-aging supplements. He saw advertised on TV powders, pills, and potions promising everything from sharper memory to youthful energy. He spent over $200 a month, convinced it was an investment in his health. Then his doctor asked him to bring the bottles to his checkup. "Half of these have ingredients you already get from your diet," the doctor said. "And the rest? No scientific backing." George felt duped. "I was paying for hope in a bottle," he admitted. This brings us to item 3, overpriced health supplements. The Stoics believed in nurturing the body and mind, but they prioritized simplicity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing, because it requires readiness to face what comes at us." True health readiness isn't found in unproven pills. It's built through balanced meals, daily movement, and regular checkups. Here's the Stoic approach. Consult, then consume. Before buying supplements, ask your doctor or pharmacist, "Do I truly need this?" George learned his vitamin D levels were fine, and his memory booster was just a mix of herbs he could grow in his garden. Now, he invests that $200 in fresh produce and a weekly Tai Chi class. "I feel stronger and richer," he said. Item 4, trendy exercise equipment. My cousin Linda once bought a $1,500 treadmill during a New Year's sale. "I pictured myself jogging every morning," she laughed. But by March, it was a glorified clothesline. The Stoics called this acrasia, acting against our better judgment. We chase the idea of fitness, not the reality. Epictetus taught, "Wealth is not in having things, but in having few wants. You don't need expensive gear to stay active." My neighbor Sam, 75, walks daily in his local park, free, uses canned beans as lightweights, and follows free chair yoga videos on YouTube. "I'm in the best shape of my life," he said, "and I haven't spent a dime on gadgets. If you do want equipment, try secondhand. Sites like Facebook Marketplace are full of barely used treadmills and stationary bikes. My friend Ruth found a 200 elliptical for $50. The seller said it was too loud," she joked. Turns out, silent workouts don't burn calories. Now, you might be thinking, but what about gifts for the grandkids? I don't want to seem cheap. Let's talk about item 5, excessive gifts and how Stoicism reframes generosity. Let me tell you about my Aunt Clara. At 75, she decided her 30-year-old kitchen needed a modern update. She spent $15,000 on marble countertops, a smart fridge, and pendant lighting. But 6 months later, she admitted, "I barely cook anymore. Why did I need a fridge that texts me?" Clara's story brings us to item 6, costly home upgrades you don't need. The Stoics remind us that true contentment comes from within, not from granite countertops. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. Instead of chasing trends, ask, will this upgrade improve my daily life or just impress others?" My neighbor Frank, 78, opted for practical tweaks. He installed 30 lever handles, easier on arthritic hands, and added under-minus cabinet lighting for 100. "My kitchen works better now," he said, "and I kept my old laminate counters. They still hold coffee cups just fine." The Stoic principle here is function over fancy. Before renovating, consider, could a fresh coat of paint or rearranged furniture achieve the same joy? Clara sold her smart fridge, recouped half the cost, and donated the rest to a local food pantry. "Turns out," she said, "feeding people feels better than feeding my ego." Bringing it all together, the Stoic path to financial peace. Let's revisit Margaret, who started this journey with her 300 blender. After applying these principles, she canceled unused subscriptions, swapped supplements for walks in the park, and gifted her grandkids experiences, like zoo trips, instead of toys. "I'm saving $400 a month," she said, "but the real win, I feel lighter, like I'm living my life, not a commercial." The Stoics didn't preach deprivation, they preached intentionality. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Whether it's a gadget, a policy, or a shiny kitchen, ask, does this serve my values or someone else's profit? Your invitation to financial freedom. Here's my challenge to you. Pick one item from this video and audit your spending this week. Maybe dig out that bread maker and actually bake bread. Or call your insurance agent to review policies. Then, come back here and tell me about it in the comments. Did you find hidden savings? Rediscover an old hobby? Your story could inspire someone else to take that first step. If this video helped you, hit that like button. It tells YouTube to share these tips with more folks like you. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. Together, we're building a community of wise, intentional seniors proving that less really is more. Remember, friend, as Epictetus said, wealth is not in having things, but in needing few. Your retirement isn't about keeping up. It's about thriving on your terms. Here's to your health, your savings, and the quiet confidence of knowing you're in control. Wishing you a joyful and fulfilling life at any age. Until next time, take care and keep thriving.